Welcome to The Lounge, the Her Lounge that is, where we share laughter, life experiences, and heart-to-heart dialogue. I am Lynn.
I'm Juna.
I'm Pauletta.
I'm Queasy. And we are
your four best new girlfriends.
Happy Thursday.
Happy
Welcome
Thursday.
to The Lounge. I'm so glad y'all got good manners. Everybody spoke. Y'all better have some good manners.
I know. How y'all doing?
You're listening to WNPR Radio.
Welcome to the Her Lounge, where we connect with you every Thursday through laughter, life experiences, and heart-to-heart dialogue. So today, listen, okay, let me just start like this by posing a question. Have you ever loved somebody but had to let them go? Even though you love them. I don't think people really talk about the pain of divorce. People talk about the pain of breaking up. But what about when you got to let something go that you don't want to let go? And you're only letting it go because you know you need to.
Right.
Wow. Your want has nothing to do with it. So I really don't think people talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, when I don't really, you ain't necessarily killing me.
Yeah.
But you ain't adding value either.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't even know if there are statistics on that, Queese. Is there something on that? Like, what is the pain of letting go? What does research say? Is it research about that?
Go on, cook.
Let them cook.
Yeah,
Boom,
because
boom,
actually,
boom.
I don't
cook.
I don't have, sometimes I can get a little long-winded, but on this one I don't have a lot. But I felt like what I did find was significant. So the pain of letting go, per AI overview, it refers to the emotional discomfort or distress that arises when someone is forced to relinquish something they hold dear, like a relationship, a cherished memory, or a part of their identity, often accompanied by feelings of sadness, grief, longing, and sometimes even anger as they detach from something familiar and move toward the unknown. Now, they stated that the key aspects of letting go is loss of connection, feeling a disconnect from something or someone that was once a significant part of your life, nostalgia, dwelling on positive memories from the past, making it harder to move forward. Here's the one that I feel like it probably could have been at the top of the list: the fear of the unknown, anxiety about what the future holds without the thing you're letting go of, guilt or regret, feeling responsible for the situation or believing you could have done things differently. And then the emotional turmoil, experience a mix of emotions like sadness, anger, and frustration. So while there aren't any specific widely accepted statistics on this, the pain of letting go research says that the majority of people have a hard time letting go because it's commonly associated with feelings of sadness. We talked about that just a second ago. Grief, anger, guilt, regret, and often stemming from unresolved issues in relationships, past trauma, or significant life changes. So I'm not going to go through the emotional styles because we will be here for a long time. So although there isn't a significant statistic that I can attach to it, the percentage is high.
Okay.
Potentially even close to the majority of the population deals with, because letting go can be in so many areas. You know, it can be like what we talked about earlier about relationship. It can be the death of a loved one. It can be a job. It can be a part of you that you know you need to let go when it comes to your personality is not beneficial for you to go forward. So it can go in so many different areas. So the abandonment that they talked about a lot of time when I was reading in the styles, the abandonment of letting go because you feel like I'm going to be alone or what I'm going to do. So, Pauletta, I'm sure that you can kind of dig into the counseling perspective of the abandonment or the influence that letting go has on your mental health.
I caught it this time. I'm ready. This time, if y'all catch the other episode, you know what I'm talking about. But what I wanted to say is that, first of all, abandonment is the branch Abandonment is not the issue. The root of the issue is unworthiness.
Okay.
Feeling unworthy.
Okay.
Because nobody wants to stay. What's wrong with me? Okay. And so if I look at my personal life,
Wow.
you know, I think about how I was adopted as a baby.
Okay.
Like, and to this day at age 52, I don't know who my real parents are. And so when I was younger, especially leading into adulthood, I struggled with abandonment. And it led me to stay into all kind of relationships I had no business being in, friendships I had no business being in. Even though I heard God clearly say, get out, run, flee, don't even get into it. But the fear of being alone, the fear of like, well, why can't you stay? Well, what's wrong with me? You know, so I'll put myself out there. Right. I bought friendships. I bought relationships, you know. And so if you do not tackle the self-worth, then you will always deal with abandonment. Okay. You, and I'm going to say this speaking from someone who's adopted, you have to deal with, I am enough. Mm-hmm. And settle in the fact of sometimes I may need to be by myself. Because if you are not comfortable in being by yourself, you're always going to push yourself into spaces and places that you don't need to be in. And you'll stay longer than the expiration date because of the fact that you're scared to be alone, you know. And so, yes, have there been times when I stayed, you know, in a situation because I was scared that I was going to be triggered in being abandoned? Yes. Did I have to pay for it? Yes, financially, emotionally, physically, with my body. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to, self-worth is so important. It is so important because you'll realize that just me by myself, I'm good. I'll go out to dinner by myself and be just as content.
Me too.
But I know some people who will never do that.
Yeah.
Who will call somebody just to go out with them. But me, like, I'll go out by myself and just be sitting there, people watching and watching TV or whatever, you know. But a lot of people can't, and that's because they're not settled in being enough. Yeah. That they need, you know, and I know Lynn talks about this all the time about hating hearing women say that he completes me. Mm-hmm. You know, like that it should not be a level of completion that you're looking for in a man. Right. You know, or a woman. Yeah. Or a woman. That you should be complete. Are there going to be some places that you're still going to be residue? Yes. We're not talking about that. But you should not be looking for completion in another human being. Right. You know, and if you do, then you're not ready to be married. But I think that's what's wrong with a lot of marriages is that they were looking for completion, you know, and they were basing the hope of completion off of potential. Yes. And when potential never rose to the surface, now you this incomplete being. Yeah. And now I'm mad at you for not completing me and what I thought I saw in you. Right. Not what you saw in yourself, but what I thought I saw in you. And now I'm mad at you.
But not realizing what I saw wasn't reality. It was just a possibility.
It was a possibility.
Because that's all potential is.
That's it.
That's and every last one of us got that.
Right.
Possibility. Right. But possibility stays possibility until you put some action with it.
Right. It's true.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's so true.
That's just like playing spades, saying I got 3 in a possible. I don't call my possible a definite.
Right.
I call it a possible. Because it may make it, and it only makes it depending on how the cards fall.
Right. Now, if I'm a card player, then but you know, if I can't play, then it's a...
Go ahead on and get it there.
3 in a possible. But I mean, it's true. So yeah, I think that the feeling of abandonment weighs heavy on letting go. And even I'm gonna say, let's take the, you know, adoption, all of that stuff out. The older I get, you know what I'm saying? That, or not me per se, but the older women get. I'll speak on behalf of women. I think sometimes you'll stay in a relationship for fear of dying alone or being alone. So you'll stay in a relationship, you know, I forgot who sings that, but a piece of man is better than no man at all. You know, and I never believed in that philosophy. But there are women
there are people who like
I'm talking about 10 toes down. Yeah. It's better than nothing. Yeah. At least I'm matching pajamas with somebody. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, but there are people who There are people who out here believe that.
That's true.
Because they don't want to be abandoned. They
Yeah.
don't want to be alone.
Yeah. Or they're being taught by people who have that idea, and that goes back to influence. Having people in your life that speak like that. I remember somebody who had great influence in my life giving me horrible relationship advice.
That's a good man, Savannah.
No, horrible. But it was because I was just like, at least
Flag on the play.
A good man,
Flag on the
Savannah.
play.
Savannah, he's a good man. He's just in a bad place right now. He's doing all he can. This man married, mama. But he's a good man. You better know who you listening to.
better know who you listening to.
Mama been and got your head chopped
What?
off. So, Juna, like, how do you balance the pain versus the freedom? Because it is painful letting go.
It is.
But it's also a level of freedom. So how do you balance that pain versus that freedom?
I don't think there's a balance. I
Okay.
think it happens once you grieve the pain, right?
Wow.
Once you grieve, go through that process, because like you just said, pain, it is a pain in letting go, especially when it's not bad, right? When it's not, when the need to let go is not associated with something that was done
Right.
to you, right? You
Yes.
weren't wronged in any way, right?
Yes.
There's been no offense, right? But
It ain't been no what?
offense, right? There's been no offense, but
I just know this is not
this
God's
is
best
not-
for
this
me.
is not- and I gotta let it go. And so there's pain in that, yes. But once I get through the pain of it, once I acknowledge that it is painful, once I acknowledge the fact that love or whatever it is that I was holding on to just isn't enough, and I let that thing go, and I allow myself to feel that pain, to go through that process of grief, then I think that's where the freedom comes in. The freedom it comes in. It's like it's not concurrent, right?
Yeah.
It happens after. I don't experience freedom until I deal with the pain.
That
I
is
can't.
so good.
I can't experience freedom until I actually deal with the pain associated with me having to sever this tie.
And then I think you get another level of freedom when something happens afterwards with that individual, and you be like,
I'm glad I
Good looking
did.
out.
like, okay,
Good looking out, God.
because it makes you feel like, okay, I made the right
right.
decision.
I can't
Right.
You know what I'm
tell
saying?
you
It makes
how
you feel that way.
many bullets I've dodged.
Wonder Woman.
I'm talking
No.
about, I've been
Neo,
like, thank you,
Matrix.
Jesus.
Neo, amazing.
Thank you, Jesus. Because when you in it, you can't see clearly.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't. You
And
really
somebody
that
can
wanna be
check
so
all
muddy.
of the boxes, and it may be the one box that they don't check that's detrimental to you.
right, right.
And so you have to, let me say this about me. I'm thinking about myself in this. But I'm thinking about it from another perspective of letting go versus freedom. Like with me losing Sean,
Yeah.
you know, I often wonder, and probably this may be a question for somebody who may have lost a spouse and who has moved on. I deal with feeling like my next will cost me my memories. Like I can't really properly articulate what I'm trying to say. Like
You said it great.
it's trying, like I
thinking of pushing
often
mo-
deal
push-
with
Yeah.
if
You don't wanna forget.
Yes.
like how do you still love but love again?
Yeah.
Because I will always
Yeah.
have a place in my heart.
But I think that's it, though.
So how do I steward that place, but also have a space for somebody else.
But I think
because
that's
I
it,
don't
Lynn.
think, but I could be already. Let me say this: I could
be doing
already
it.
be doing it.
Yeah.
But because I can't identify
Yeah.
what it looks like or even what it should feel like.
And that's probably because you're not in anything. But let me ask you this: do you? And this is for all of you, not just so much Lynn. Do you all have a place for your first love in your heart?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And he ain't. But I sure. I shouldn't have said that, but
I'm gonna say, but I was the point I was making was that you'll have that, like, you have love for your first love.
I can't remember.
Okay.
First love.
well, I do.
Well, okay,
You do?
So
I do.
and
Did
I don't,
it end bad?
He was full of prunes.
But you still
oh,
got a spot.
I had to be like, A
You
squared
still
plus
got a
B
spot in
squared.
your heart for him?
Yeah.
Really? That's interesting.
I mean,
Because this is my thinking, right?
Because I'm trying to. Oh, no.
I mean, when
I mean, it's the
like,
first
not
time.
in love,
I don't know
not
if I
that you
should
sit-
do.
With them, like,
It ain't even a corner of your heart, like,
It ain't, but it's not in. It's not about being in love with
right?
them.
Like, it's just a piece.
It's just a piece.
Yeah.
And even like it's nostalgia in a sense, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I don't want to
that
get
was the
back with
first
him.
person- right? Absolutely.
No, I know that,
I love
but
everybody with the love
But
of the
it's
Lord.
but it,
I guess now you got me.
You too sad.
Now that question has made me think about who was really my first love.
Right. That's what I couldn't. I
Because
don't
I'm
know.
thinking about who lingering. and I really can't put my finger
this thing that
But
took
you
a
know
turn.
what? Now I'm gonna say this.
I really can't
I've
put
never
my,
been in
put
love.
my finger on nobody.
So you say you've
I'm
never
trying
been
to
I've
in
figure
never
out.
I've never been in love. I've been in lust. What? I've never
I don't believe that.
I've loved someone, but I've never been in love with someone.
Why do you say that? Explain.
Hey y'all, these chairs. This
I'm
is not
gonna
us.
say this. I'm gonna say this because of my crazy self. It was afterwards that I realized I was in love.
Oh.
Okay.
Like it was afterwards that it hit me. That was love. But because I was so busy
Come on, love Joe.
trying not to
experiencing
fall in love, I didn't realize that I had fell in love. Yeah, so it was like afterwards. But I'm trying to think of my. Let me just stay out of that. I don't think I have a reference.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I want to have one, but
yeah.
I just cannot put my
I
finger
have-
on nobody. Like,
have-
who was
yeah.
my first love?
I know who my first love was, but I wasn't. Was I in love with him?
Yup.
See, I don't think you know.
I said I'm gonna tell you why I struggle because I'm looking at love from how I view it now.
And when you did it,
That's why I'm struggling. That's why I'm struggling.
Okay,
Because
now
back then,
you okay? Come
I
on,
thought that
Come
was
on.
my
She
love.
just hit
Come on, you hit
Because
yeah,
I
yes,
was
yes,
young
ma'am.
and
That's
and
it.
it was
That's it.
toxic and
That-
we was
yes,
in love
ma'am.
with each other.
Yes, ma'am. I
Oh,
was in.
that's
I had been in
crazy.
love.
You know what I'm saying?
I've
but
been in love. I've been in love.
now I'm like, that wasn't no love.
That's why I said I was in
So
lust.
that's why I'm having a hard time referencing because what I thought was love, I wouldn't define it as love.
Okay, now
so
I'm with
yeah,
you.
I would say yeah, I probably do have a part. Not a like
And
a.
it's not anything
not like
that's
a,
like,
ooh,
oh, and I
ah,
melt, and I
nothing.
melt,
Just,
and he
I
still
don't want
can
him to die.
he
I want him to
still
do
can
well.
move me.
I can see
Yeah,
that.
type thing.
I can't. Listen, I don't want him to die. I
I
want
don't
him
want
to
him
do
to die. I
well.
want him to do well.
I wish some prosperity.
We just had a confession over here from Pauletta. She
but I'm
said she
saying,
has been in love.
I have been in love. Now
I
that you
think
put
it's
it that
because
way,
we was looking at it from a
Yeah.
from a
In
more
an adult-
mature
yes,
perspective.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
I was with Troy, I was gone. Ooh.
You done called his
It
name?
hit hard because you called
He
it
gone to
name.
be with the Lord.
He
though,
gone
so-
now. So that's why I could call. That's why I can call his name. But yeah, okay. So I was in love with Troy. Yeah.
That's so sweet, Pauletta.
Wow. Like I'm talking 52 years
That
old.
wasn't so sweet. If you heard the story, it ain't sweet. That's a good place to take a break. We'll be back in a moment, guys. We we hope that you all have been enjoying the conversation so far, but we want you to continue to follow us on our social media platforms at YouTube and Facebook at The Her Lounge, on Instagram at Her Lounge Podcast. And don't you dare forget to subscribe to us on all of these platforms: iHeart, Google, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. Now, let's get back to the lounge. All right, guys, welcome back. So this time around, we're going to share an experience. Pauletta already shared an experience that caused us to have to take a break. I just didn't want Quisha to waste her tenderness she had got for you. Oh, no, baby, this one no all. Said it all for all kind of situation. So if you want to, just share an experience where the pain of letting go seemed unbearable.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to let go of something? Not even, all of it ain't even relationship.
Yeah.
It could be friendship. It could be
job,
job or
anything,
anything. But, have you ever had to let go of, let's say somebody. Let's stay in relationship perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had to let go of somebody you did not want to let go of,
Oh, yeah.
but you knew you had to?
Yes. That goes back for me is grieving my expectations, because I'm such a considerate person and I love so freely, which meant that I had to learn it harder. People had to step on me a lot of times for me to get it. Cause I'm such a optimistic person.
Me too. People don't believe that about me, but I am.
I can see good, and I was like, they didn't mean it,
I don't know if I ever said they didn't mean it, but that might be a little too far.
I'm bleeding, but they didn't mean it. But it took me growing, and but here's the part, and I would love to hear from y'all on this, that I guess I'm dealing with now, that some people consider kind of cold, and I know that's hard to hear from me, but once I grieve my expectation and I place you in your area, like you no longer get this kind of access, right? It's seen because I've always been such a giving and, like I'm going to keep giving you another chance, that now it's just like, dang, you don't want to deal with nobody. And it's not, and there may be some growth that I need in that area. It's not that I don't want to deal with anybody, but I was so giving with not being able to consider my own bleeding, like you said, for so long, that now I protect that space.
But what if they're healthy boundaries? Anytime you establish boundaries, somebody's always going to be offended.
Oh, yeah, and I'm
Because
okay with it now.
the people that had access to you no longer have that level of access.
Yes.
So they're always going to perpetrate, now you acting funny, you moving different. No, I'm protecting my peace.
Yeah.
And so it's not so much that you cold-hearted or that you mean, or you know what? No, my peace is too
It's
invaluable.
paramount.
Yeah.
It's
and
paramount.
nothing, nobody is going to disrupt it.
Absolutely.
That's where I am right now.
I don't care who it is, you got to go.
Even if that means me being alone and being by myself, I just cannot be in something just for the sake of being in something.
Yes.
I just can't do that. I don't even have the wherewithal
to do
it. I don't.
I get
I
it.
don't. I choose me.
Yeah.
I choose me. I just can't do it. I can't be in anything meaningless.
Yes.
I can't be in anything where somebody putting half effort in.
And I'm giving.
Yeah, I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't be in that. And it's just, it just is what it is. It's I'm telling you, it's more and more. I'm becoming more and more no nonsense. It's getting worse. That's not worse in a bad way, but it's just it used to maybe take me 2 times, 3 times. No.
Yes.
I'm talking about, it's bad.
For me, when we talked about earlier about the freedom in it, now that I have created those healthy boundaries, it's making me appreciate the people who are real. I can see it now, because I kind of just let everybody
was in.
I was going to
You
ask
had
you,
the
Quisha,
Israelites, the Philistines.
but I was going to
Amalekites.
ask you, Quisha, I know you said that other people say that you're cold and all this stuff. How do you feel, though?
I feel free, because my peace is so, now there's still that little part of me, that little girl in me that loves to people please. right, that says,
And you have to jack her
I
up
have
often.
all the time, because I'd be like, dang, that was kind of rough. But no, it wasn't. Why? Because this is important for me. Like, my house is my haven.
And it's okay for
it's-
me to see about me.
Yes, and accepting that is such a beautiful thing. That's the freeing part, is that I had to go through the pain of so many people, of caring about people's opinions. You know, the pain of disappointing, you know, because for so long I lived with the fear of disappointment. So that meant people pleasing was at the top for me. Like, I don't want to disappoint nobody because I love you and I want to see you happy. But what is happiness to me?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that looks like, right? So now I'm learning what that looks like.
So what does that look like for you now?
Man, I don't think I realized, because I was extroverted because I had to be. Peace for me is, like you said, now I can go eat at a restaurant by myself. People don't know how special that is for me. That doesn't mean that I don't love everybody else, but I love my time. I appreciate my shower time where it's just me and the Lord. You know, like, that is precious to me. There are
Why
things
say
that
you so saved?
well, I'm telling you, that's the way I'm nice. If I don't have those moments,
No, you talking my language now.
If I
You
don't,
want me to be by
you
myself,
want me, because if I don't have those
so
moments,
I can be with you.
You hear me? You
'Cause
don't want
if I
that to
don't be
spill
with
and me
me,
to be,
I
because
ain't
I
gonna be
can
able to be with you.
as nice. And you always have to watch people who are very nice, because as nice as they can be,
They can be
they can be equally cold. My grandmother would always tell
Now,
me,
Queasy, hold on. Flesh and blood to reveal that.
Yeah, because that's me too.
that is so.
That's me.
yeah.
And you say your grandma. Oh,
My grandma would tell me all
that
the
was like
time.
an epiphany for me.
Yeah, my grandma would tell me all the time. She said, I gotta watch you because you smile so much. She said, those kind of people are dangerous, because a lot of times our smiling is hiding. You know,
and you don't know what you get.
You don't know what you get, because you may think, I'm good with you,
But I'm diabolically
I am
calculating.
having a movie in my head. You know what I'm saying? And I had to learn that it's okay to you ain't got to keep putting yourself in the position to keep feeling that over and over and
That's
over
good.
again. No, that's enough. Like, I done had my food. I'm backed up now. Okay, so I don't want to go. I've had my food, and I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
I wasted a lot of time, and it took me a little longer because I'm such an optimistic person. But I can say now that I learned my lesson, and you ain't got to tell me twice. I get it. And I'm good. And I'm happy. Like, being able to enjoy myself and laugh. And, you know, people don't even know me laughing and falling out on the floor is a level of freedom that I didn't have before, because what I looked at sanctification and being whole as was so uptight. Right? And so I didn't know what it is to just be free and just laugh, even though it might look goofy to somebody, and show all my teeth and show the holes on the side. Why? Because this is my joy. This is my joy. And I fought so hard for this place.
That's so good.
I fought so hard for this place. So can't nobody, when I feel it going that way, I can recognize and say, hey, it's
me
time.
exit left.
Let me go.
I love where I am too much to go back
There
where
you
I
go.
was.
I cannot.
That is so,
Yeah.
so good. Do you think sometimes people hold on just because of fear, or just because, like, they don't want to be by themselves, or they don't want the perspective that somebody has of them to change, or, you know, like for instance, being in a relationship or a friendship that you know been expired? Why do we hold on?
I think there's some fear of the unknown as well, like what life is going to be like without that particular person. Because the reality is that no matter how toxic it was, it still held space, right? They still held space in your life. They still had some level of impact on you. And so to now, because if there was nothing that connected you, you would have severed it a long time ago, right? But because there is some type of connection there, it's hard to let go. It's very challenging to let go, because you don't know what life is going to be like without them. That is going to be a now void space.
Right. And familiarity brings on contentment.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I say all the time, that's my weakness is, being familiar, because I think I don't like, putting in the work of new stuff.
I used
Like,
to have,
I don't want to
yeah.
meet folks. I don't want to go meet. I don't want to do that. Like,
I used to
you
have,
know what I mean?
yeah.
But I mean, Lynn, that's what you got to do.
I used to have a
You know what I
friend-
mean?
I used to have a friend who was married at one time, and her husband was a habitual cheater. Constantly cheated on. She caught him upwards teens times. Upwards teens. Like 15, 16, 17 times. She caught him. I don't mean that's how many times he cheated. That's how many times she caught him. So that last time she caught him, that's when she left. But that was upwards of teens, right? And my question to her, I remember asking her, like, what changed? What's different from this time? What's
Stay in that
different?
mic, yeah.
Right. What's different from this time
Then the other 17 times.
than what happened on time number 17 that did not happen on time number 8? You know,
No, for real. What was her answer?
she was just like, I just got to the point to where this was killing me.
When
Like
a
it's
woman's
killing-
fed up.
Like it's killing, like literally killing her to keep dealing with it over and over again. And I guess
And I bet
sometimes
he was
And
surprised.
really, he was. But the reality is that everybody's breaking point is not the same.
Right.
That's the lesson that I got in that conversation from her. Everybody's breaking point is not the same. But once you get to your point where you say, this enough is enough, because see, like Evelyn Braxton said, "Now, if you ain't gonna do nothing about it."
You quoting Evelyn Braxton?
Evelyn Braxton said, if you ain't gonna do nothing about this man cutting up on you or whatever, if you ain't ready to do nothing
Quit
about
talking about it.
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's not until you're ready to take action
Yeah.
that you should rather.
Because I'm telling you, the people around you will get tired of hearing the same
Yeah.
story that you won't do
Over and
nothing
over.
about. They really will get tired of that. So, Juna, what's our question of the day?
Question of the week is
I'm sorry, of the week.
is what joys did you discover from your pains of letting go?
What joys.
Rejoice.
What if somebody is in the middle of it and right now they can't see the joy? What if they just made the decision that I'm done and they walked away and they're walking out the grief process?
I think that's the to be continued, right?
Okay.
That goes back to what we were saying earlier, about how it doesn't happen simultaneously.
Right.
I go through this
It's a process.
I
It's
go
a
through
process.
this process and I'm in this pain and I'm experiencing this pain. But once I get past this pain, there is joy.
Yeah.
On the other side of this.
Boy,
There
in the
is joy and there is
morning.
freedom.
When I rise in the morning.
I got to get there, though. I got to get there.
I'm going to say this too, because I just thought about it. I hate to come behind the question of the week, so you're going to have to say it again.
Okay.
But there's also a pain in letting go when there's not necessarily anything wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like when you just really like when you really should be able to make it,
Right.
Yeah.
but you just can't.
Can't.
And
That's painful as well too.
it'll make you second guess the decision of letting. Well, maybe we really could make this work.
Yeah.
And it'll make you second guess and make you stay longer, even though you know within your knower
Yeah.
that I need to let it go.
Until you be like me and be like, I'm glad I didn't stop at the house on the spin.
Wait.
And so, Juna, what is our question of the week?
Question of the week again. What joys did you discover from your pains of letting go?
All right, guys, you know the conversation. I'm sounding like Queasy. You know the conversation
The
continues after the conversation. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at the Her Lounge Podcast or the Her Lounge Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
And
See
the
you
Tick
next
and Talk.
Thursday. Oh yeah, TikTok. I forgot on
Yeah,
TikTok.
we're on TikTok.
All right.
The Her Lounge.
See y'all next Thursday.